Learn the best way to do Roth conversions for a great railroad retirement. Welcome everyone to another edition of the Highball Advisors Railroad Retirement Whiteboard. My name is John McNamara of Highball Advisors, and today we're going to talk about, the proper way to be doing Roth conversions, or the way to be thinking about Roth conversions, because there really isn't a bad way to do it. Well, maybe there is, but anyway, I identified 3 ways to do it: good, better, best ways to do Roth conversion. So, what is a Roth conversion? Basically, what you're doing is you're taking money out of your tax-deferred accounts, 401k, IRA, right? Because that's money that you've been deferring. It's never been taxed, and paying the tax on it and moving it into a tax-free Roth IRA. Okay, as they say, you put in the tax-deferred accounts, you have a business partner called the IRS. Okay, in those accounts, they want their money, and so we got to figure out the best way to get that money to the IRS and still grow your money, right, for retirement. So here's what you want to think about when it comes to Roth conversion. So I use it as a trigger, right? So if your tax rate's going to be same or higher when you retire, then you want to be looking at Roth conversions, okay? But if you feel that your tax rate is going to be much higher in retirement than it is now, then you don't want to be doing Roth conversions. All right. So the 401k IRA is your tax deferred vehicle that's going to be set up for the Roth conversion, and you're going to move it into a Roth IRA. So I just want to give you a typical example of why you should be looking at Roth conversion. So let's say you're 50 years old and you have $500,000 in your 401k. Okay. By age 75, if you don't touch that money, and just looking at historical returns of the S&P 500 for the last 30 years, it's done 9.33%. So if you don't touch that money, the power of compounding kicks in. You're looking at $4.6 million in change, assuming that. Obviously, market performance is never the same, but that's a possibility. Could be higher even still. And what happens is at 75, the IRS enforces what they call a required minimum distribution, right? I said you had a business partner. So now they want their money at 75, and they're going to force out a certain amount of money every year from 75 on until the account is emptied. So using their formula, which I won't get into, that first year at 75 is $189,024 that has to come out of that IRA at that point, right? And that gets taxed at ordinary income. So you can see the dilemma here. You said, well, geez, I got railroad retirement, and then I might have this 190,000. I am in a much higher tax bracket, right? So if I can bring that stuff, liability down during the years preceding my RMD age, then this number won't be as big and it won't bump you up into a higher tax bracket, right? Because you don't want to be paying that at a maybe a 32% bracket. Who knows, right? It all depends upon where taxes are. We don't know where taxes are going to be, especially in 25 years. I have no idea. All right. So here's the 3 ways to get the Roth conversion done. I call it good, better, best, because at the end of the day, I like Roth conversions. I think they're very, very important to help build up that tax-free nest egg. So the good way to do it is you can pay the tax, right? The money comes out of tax deferred, pay the one-time tax, and then gets moved into the Roth IRA. So you can pay the tax out of the IRA. So just using this example, let's say I want to do a $50,000 Roth conversion. All right, I'm in the 22% bracket. Now I got to pay $11,000 in taxes out of that. So I can only convert $39,000 into my tax-free account because I need the $11,000 to pay the taxes. All right, so that's good. You got $39,000 in there, but you had to pay $11,000 in ordinary income tax. Now, a better way to do it is from a taxable account. So a brokerage account, maybe you have some stocks you've been growing in there, okay? And now you have to pay the $11,000 in taxes, and you could take it from your investments. And let's say you have a capital gain of $11,000, right, to pay for the tax. You're taking out $11,000 and you have a capital gain on that. So that gets taxed at 15%. So your long-term capital gain would be $1,650. But what's great is now my conversion amount, I put $50,000 into a tax-free account, right? $11,000 more than the other way. So that's fantastic. So that's better. Now the best is taxes paid from the savings account, right? So you have a bank account, whatever, maybe a CD coming due, something along those lines. You got the $11,000 you got to withdraw. There's no tax on that. Okay, so no paying anything, and you've converted the complete $50,000 from out of your savings. And so that's a really great one too. And you can maybe flip between better and best because you say, well, this was invested, it grew versus a savings, but whatever. Either way, those are great ways to do those Roth conversions. So I highly encourage you to get those done. This is something I go through with all my through the boarding for railroad retirement process. So sign up for that if you're at or near retirement and you're looking to do that. That's great. Please share this video, especially those railroaders getting near retirement. Click on my subscribe button or notification to get the latest video. That'd be great. And until next time, everyone, please stay safe, stay on track, and take care. So long, everybody. Bye.